guys, today I'm going to show you how I make my alpha sets using Photoshop and bulk edit actions to quickly make your alpha sets, export them, and have them uploaded and ready to go, whether to sell them as an alpha set or to use them for like PNG designs or however you're going to use them. So once I provide the Photoshop file, which you get with my semi-exclusive alphas, then this is how I set it up. And you're going to go into your edit, preferences, and export. And you're going to make sure you have PNG, transparency is on, and you do not want to click the smaller file because we don't want to reduce our resolution. Once you're done with that, you're going to click OK. And I go ahead and set everything up with just everything's individual layers. I don't have anything grouped because I know that a lot of times you may want to do it a little bit differently. You may have a different system than me. But this is how I set it up. It's usually either a 50 by 50 inch to an 80 by 80-inch file. And I have everything to where you can easily see, right? I want to be able to see all the letters to make sure nothing looks kind of wonky or crazy. And once I get done with that, I'm going to click the auto select up at the top left. I want to change that to layer. I'm going to drag it over and we're going to click the little folder button at the bottom right where my tools and everything are right there. And we're doing that to where we can completely select that letter set. So all of A, all of B, all of C, you're going to do that and go through one at a time, drag over it, click the folder, and you're going to group those layers into a folder. And I'm not going to go over why yet, but it's going to have to do with just how you export and how you're going to do everything. So once that is done, I'm just checking to make sure that it did group correctly. And yes, it looks like it did. Everything's grouped pretty well. You can also go in and, check that. Then we're going to select everything. And then actually, I forgot one of the things that I needed to do. So let me see here. So then we're going to create our actions. And we're doing this so that you can select your base letter set, your base outline, all of that. You can select that. And then we're going to do an action to, after you select that, you're going to be able to paste like a layer style, pattern style to this so that it does everything at once. It does all the letters, all the numbers, whether it has all uppercase, all lowercase, whatever. So you're going to go into your actions and you're going to select the new. And then once you select that, you're going to do a new set first, and then you're going to record your action. And you're going to go in and you're going to hold, and you're going to hold control, and you're going to click all of your base layers. So for this one, which is the fall base, it's just A, B, C, D, and then you're going to go all the way until I get all the way up to my dashes. And you're going to select everything. And you'll see in the panel as you're recording, it's showing select layer this name. So select layer A, select layer B. And so I'm going to pause this really quick and just go ahead and finish these up. And then you're going to stop recording that action once you've selected everything. And I just browse really quick just to make sure that yes, everything's selected. Click stop recording. And then I'm going to go back up here in a minute and I'll minimize that to where it doesn't show select each individual layer. And if you wanted to do this for the outline too, so you want a different color, or maybe you want glitter or whatever on the outline of the lace, then you would do the same thing and you would click new action, record, and you're going to hold control and then select all of the outline layers and then pause your recording. And then what you're going to do is once we've got all of that set up, that's ready to go. That's one of the most time consuming parts of this outside of just layering everything is we're going to click select and it is going to select all of the layers that we just linked to that action. And before you do that, because once again, I forgot, you're going to actually go in and you're going to go ahead and set a pattern to one of your letters so that you can bulk edit your and paste the layer style that you're going to use for that. So you're going to right click, go to pattern overlay, select your pattern, make sure it's snapped to origin, you've got your sizing correctly. I will tell you for digital papers on this, it does not work as well if it's not seamless. unless you automatically, as soon as you do it, you have it at 100%. Like this paper is at 50 because I wanted a smaller dot on there, but sometimes the pacing of the layers get a little bit wonky on this, and I'll show you later how to fix that because every now and again you'll have like 3 or 4 that you just have to go in and manually fix. But you're gonna go in and you're gonna right click whichever one you put that pattern to, and you're gonna copy the layer style, and you're gonna go to your action and play that action to select everything, right click, and then paste layer style. And isn't that awesome? So everything just had that pattern applied to it. So the letters are almost ready to be put into a folder and all the things to where you can sell it as an alpha set. And I just love that this is such a quicker way. When I first started doing this, I literally did it letter by letter, and I was like, "I'm an idiot. I completely forgot. Just make actions for this to make it as quickly as possible for all of the things," right? So just a little bit of craziness, but anyways. So once all that is done and then that is set up, everything's working correctly for that, then what you're gonna have to do if you don't go ahead and apply the same thing to like another layer. So if you're not want to add anything out to your outline layers, you're going to need to go in and you're going to need to click and rename each group. Why do you want to do that? Well, when you go in to export this, whatever you have that group name set as is what it is going to be in the folder. So I want to name my group A, my group B, my group C, so on and so forth, so that you know when you're uploading the folder, everything's nice and neat. If you need to search Google Drive, you can search for a specific letter and it will properly show you what you're looking for. So once you've got that done, you want to swap the top auto select to back to group, drag and drop everything, right click, and this is when the export settings come in because once you right click that, you're going to click export as a PNG. And once I do that, sometimes it'll take a second because these are big files. Then I usually go to my downloads, and then once I click that, I'll do like a new folder, select folder, and it is gonna automatically start exporting every single group. So make sure, once again, make sure that you have auto select up at the top left in your Photoshop set to group. If you do layers, then it's gonna do your base and your outline layer, and you don't wanna do that. You wanna make sure that it's doing your completed. This is your, it's like a rasterized A with the pattern and the outline, everything's good. And once it does that, it'll load everything into your folder, and you can go in and look and make sure everything looks good. This is when I tend to flip through really quick. You can also zoom in with your view as you're doing Photoshop. I tend to do that because once I have the action set up, it is easy for me to just go in and zoom in and do and check the letters as I'm making them, because when you select your action, it doesn't matter where your view is on your screen. So I can select the base layers, and while it's doing that, I'm zoomed in on the first row, like A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And that way I can kind of see pattern wise, is it looking like I need to? Which letters do I need to edit? I'll go ahead and edit those once I've selected and pasted the layer file. And now we're coming to the portion of like how to fix that because like I said, if it's not a seamless pattern, you're going to hit an issue where you have a seam. And unfortunately, I have tons of digital papers that I love to use, but they're not seamless. So you kind of have to do a few little bit of tweaks. It still just saves so much time versus doing something different. But Photoshop does not have a way when you copy your layer style, it does not automatically snap it to origin. So at this one, I had it at 50%. So some of my letters have a seam like in the middle or on the side because it's not a full 100% on the paper. And then I realized even when I do 100%, sometimes it still does not automatically snap the pattern to origin, which basically is just like to the middle, like sync it center and middle, and it's how it's supposed to be. It doesn't automatically do that. So I will have to go in and do that one by one. So I'm just showing you like, okay, I went in and updated and I did a snap to origin and I copied and I pasted, and there's still letters that have a seam, even though I set it to 100% and I clicked snap to origin. So in order to fix that, unfortunately, because like I said, Photoshop does not have a bulk snap to origin like setting, it won't let me go in, select all the base layers, and then do a blend option. You have to do blend options if you're not just copying and pasting the style one at a time. So that's when I zoom in and I'll zoom in really close and go ahead and look and see which ones I need to fix. And then you just double click on the side. Once you've zoomed in enough to where you can see really well, you make sure, okay, this has a seam. This doesn't have a seam. You're going to go into that one letter, click the base, double click, go to pattern overlay, and then you would make sure it's at 100%, snap to origin, whatever you need it to do to where it doesn't have that seam on there. And I love making alpha sets. One of my favorite people that does like semi-exclusives, exclusives, and ones that are non-exclusive is Shelly with 3 Gents and a Mimi. And once I saw how she was doing this, I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to do this and kind of put as my own spin on it because I wanted to do unique brushes, right? So I've got some lace brushes and some things like that that I've done, like pearls, things that are trending and they're becoming popular, but not everybody knows how to make them. Not everybody know because I do it in Illustrator. I do all of my alpha sets in Illustrator, and then I pull them over into Photoshop for you guys because um even I really don't like I like bulk making them in Illustrator. I would hate to bulk edit them just because I don't wanna do it. I'm more comfortable in Photoshop. But then I just drag and drop. So this is when you would drag your folder into a Google Drive and do your Google Drive links. I have master files that I set up in Canva. So even if you're using an alpha set and you don't wanna resell the alpha set, you only wanna make your own PNG designs, you can do that as well. And what I like to do is once I upload everything to folders in Canva and I have like a completed project folder section that's just for completed alphas, then I start designing whatever I'm gonna put on a t-shirt or whatever design it's gonna be to sell. I sell the PNG designs for other businesses to put them on t-shirts. So that's when I pull everything into Canva designing. You can do it in Photoshop, but I just prefer to be able to drag and drop, especially if I'm doing like the fall lace or I'm doing something that is a very specific style type. And so I can just make a base file in Canva and say, okay, these are going to be my fall lace designs. And this is my master file. Go ahead and make all the designs. And then as I do different patterns or different colors, I can just drag those back into the same design and you've got your different stuff. So I could do, 5 different mama designs really quick because I have those base files set up. So I hope this helped. Thank you so much. And just don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want to, you can check out my Etsy shop if you want a semi exclusive or non exclusive.